Good morning, everyone. This is Florida Plant Mama coming to you from Zone 10A, Central Florida. This morning, I've got my red tip pointer stick, and I'm headed out to the yard so that I can finally get on with this backyard permaculture food forest garden tour. I've been trying to do this tour for several days, but I haven't been able to get to it because life was lifing. But I finally had the chance, and I want to go ahead and show you what's going on in the food forest, okay? Let's go ahead and get started. Now, this is an angle that you don't always see in the food forest, so I will start with that one, okay? That's the entrance of the food forest. I won't name all of the things we have growing out here because I've already done that several times. I don't want to bore you all. We've got the potted fruit tree station number 1, baby plant nursery, and the potted fruit tree station number 2. This is where I keep my frost sensitive fruit trees. Let's head on in. Hopefully the mosquitoes will be kind to me this morning. Welcome. I'm very proud of myself this year because I've actually managed to keep the food forest under decent control. It's not the normal chaos of summer. We have a little pollinator candy here, celosia. This is oriental lily. It's already flowered. I'm just leaving the stems here so that the roots can absorb all of the energy from these stems. Sisu spinach. I put 1 or 2 little stalks here and they've already expanded. We have a little agave here. Now you'll see empty bags throughout the garden right now. Most of them, well, some of them have some old spent stuff in there that I've got to pull, but the rest are empty. And the reason why I have the bags here is because it increases the space that I have to plant annuals, namely the vegetables. This is a baby butterfly bush. I planted a small seedling here and it has grown very quickly. This is a sweet almond tree. It was a bush that I pruned into a tree and it's gotten quite tall. I actually have to go in and cut it back a bit. Plumbago, a little bit more sisu spinach. Balloon flower, you'll see balloon flower throughout the garden as a little bit of a ground cover because the pollinators like it and it's a cheap filler plant. There is philodendron back here along with asparagus fern. There is elephant ear here. There is a hibiscus. Another sweet almond. This one I left as a bush. I think I will, once fall comes, carve this down to a tree. It would make a pretty tree. And the space would be opened up a bit just by having that be a little bit thinner. So that's my plan. More bags. Little plantains still left in here, but like I said, for the most part, the bags are empty. They are waiting for the fall seedlings that I plan to put in there. Another philodendron. Yellow dewdrop plant. It's very pretty and wispy. There is another hibiscus right here as well, but it's kind of combined here with the yellow dewdrop. This is why they call it a yellow dewdrop, because after it flowers, it makes that tiny little yellow dewdrop looking thing here. Carolina jessamine vine. More bags. Let's go back and enter again and show you the right side. So you've seen this quite often. This is my raised herb bed. I have bunching onion. I just put in some stevia. There's sage. There's Mexican tarragon that is flowering. And then there are 3 thyme plants, grandma and 2 babies, which have now grown up and they are coalesced. We have the Barbados cherry tree. And then we have more bags surrounding what was and will change now. But for now, it is still the pepper beds. There are 2 pepper beds here. Now, you've noticed I've got fruit trees along with herbs, along with pollinator plants, along with vegetables, and then we've got annuals and perennials. So I practice permaculture principles in this garden. I also practice high density gardening. As you can see, things are packed quite tightly. We want to be as efficient as possible with the space. So we really do, or I really do, cram it in to this small backyard space. You can see how prolific the Barbados cherry tree is. We've got lots of cherries ready to be harvested today. I will get to that after this video. But the wind has knocked some cherries off of the tree and they're all there on the ground. I will pick those up just to keep the ants at bay. So let's go ahead and come around. Beautiful show as we pass this Carolina jessamine of the mango tree. There are a couple of elephant ear plants here that look a little sad. I just divided a big plant and moved it around, so that's why they look a little droopy right now. We have a ground cover oregano and blue-eyed grass. The pollinators love it. We have sunshine mimosa here, also known as the sensitive plant. More blue-eyed grass. I divided a big clump so that I could spread it. We have the first aloe plant that was planted when I initiated this garden back in 2019. More bags. This container houses my rosemary. We have a beautiful canna lily here, and her sister is right beside her. Additionally, we have another Florida native, excellent pollinator plant, which is the salt and pepper plant. And we have a longan tree. This longan tree has grown by leaps and bounds this season. Surrounding the longan tree, we've got more blue-eyed grass. Now, as you can see here, I've got a thick layer of mulch down. It's really helpful in keeping the weeds at bay. Back here, I've got Swiss cheese plant. It's an indoor plant, but I put it back here and it's managed to thrive. And I love the way it looks. It vines all the way up along the ground. It gets pretty far up there. Okay. Let's continue. More bags again, waiting for their fall seedlings. It's time to start your fall seedling, folks. I'll have a video showing you what I'm starting so far. Another aloe babies. Coreopsis. And we have a Suriname cherry tree that I pruned way back, and it's already starting to grow. Here is a kumquat tree. It's starting to develop more kumquats. They're ready around the holidays, but you can see it is flowering. Little flower right there, 2 little flowers. Can you see them? Behind the kumquat tree, we have a beautiful flowering burgundy crepe myrtle tree. We've got iris back there and agave. We have jasmine. This is a ligustrum. There's another philodendron in here. More oregano. A rose of Sharon is hiding back here. And you see those grapes? I actually have grapes. This is the grape trellis. Down here, we've got an empty elephant garden bed. The elephant garlic did not do so well for me this season. We will try again in the fall. The bags. Let's continue past the Carolina jessamine and get back to the pepper beds. So I did mention these are the pepper beds. However, I'm going to pull these peppers. These will not be pepper beds in the fall. These peppers have struggled all season. They're all scraggly and they're not very productive, and some are diseased. I'm just going to start over with the peppy. This is some Marani basil. It grows prolifically, but I'm not particularly fond of the smell, so that will come out as well. Maybe I'll relocate it to an area of the garden that will help with the insects without being in my face, so I don't smell it so often. There's a lavender in this bag. There's a basil that's managed to stay alive, and I just put in new pepper seedlings. Started indoors. You watched as I started these seedlings. We have a habanada, multiple habanadas, and then we've got nadapeños, which are non-spicy jalapenos, non-spicy habaneros. I like peppers. I don't like pepper kick. This is the unknown pepper, and we've got more of those habanadas. There's a solchito here that doesn't look half bad, but I think it's still gonna come out. There is the strawberry bed with the Mexican flame vine trellis. It also has a honeysuckle trellising up there. Let's continue. There are 4 pear trees here. These are Asian pears, and these are regular pears. One of these is a kefir, and the other one is a, what pear are you? You are a Bartlett pear. So the 4 pear trees. So we have the peppers, but additionally we have sisu spinach, and we have some Stokes aster in here, and a volunteer porterweed. There's always volunteer porterweed. A little bird bath. In this bag there's lavender, and there's a dahlia. We used to have another lavender here, but it went to the room upstairs. This is a Stokes aster plant. It is giving me a second blush of flowers. The stalks were really tall. I had them staked, and I cut them back when those flowers were spent, and now I'm getting another blush. I've got another Stokes aster that I'll show you that needs to be cut back. Milkweed pops up everywhere in this garden. Milkweed, milkweed. This is the other side of the grapevine. Intermingled with it, I have maypop. The flowers are not open right now, but they do make a spectacular show when they do. And the maypop vine is a host plant to a butterfly or to a caterpillar, so the monarch. So I leave them in place here. We had the huge brown-eyed Susan here that I removed, and so now it's time to fill this space. There is a ground cover of asparagus fern here. This is what happens to asparagus fern if you don't keep it in check. It likes to sprawl. I'll have to cut that back. I use it as chop and drop, as you can see in this area. We've got more peppers in bags, also started from seeds. They like it in this area. This is the blackberry trellis. Got 2 layers, and the blackberries go along the trellis. The blackberry bushes are looking a little thin this year. I may have to replace these bushes or add bushes because they have not grown back as vigorously as I would have liked. Cranberry hibiscus, Sweet William. There's always a cranberry hibiscus seedling. I've got to get that up before it grows into a tree like this one has. There's some intermingled volunteer maypop in here as well. Another agave, Persian lime. Do we have any? We don't have any lime, actual lime, baby lime on the Persian lime trees. There's another Persian lime here. This balloon flower, like I said, pops up everywhere. There are 3 paths we can take from here. This is my honeysuckle and maypop vine trellis. We'll go this way today. More milkweed. There is hardy kiwi in here. It's got a little bit of butterfly pea attached to it right now. But the hardy kiwi's in here. Philodendron, gardenia, more blue-eye grass, Mexican heather. There is a lychee tree here behind the honeysuckle. Lychee, honeysuckle. A very slowly growing hydrangea. Strawberry guava bush. And the gardenia, an elephant ear. Behind the elephant ear is another hibiscus tree. The grapevine continues. This bag will be home to chamomile. We've got Gara, another Florida native, excellent pollinator plant. A longan tree. Another rose of Sharon down here. Some sedum as ground cover. Behind the strawberry guava tree, there's a hibiscus tree that is about to flower again. Floss flower. Another Gara. I pop in lemongrass in multiple spaces in the yard. Giant ironweed. A gardenia tree, bush trained into a tree. Some Shasta daisies. Another sweet almond trained into a tree. Look what I have here. These are ground cherry seedlings. Trying again with the ground cherries. They died very early for the summer season. This is butterfly bush. More lemongrass. A holly tree. Now, this is a very, very densely packed section of the garden. It's so much green, you probably will have some difficulty discerning what's what, but I'll try and help you with this pointer stick. This is a lychee tree. Seminole pumpkins. I think this is a gerbera plant. There's the rose of Sharon that I pointed out in Sedon. More balloon flower. This is a better look at the hibiscus bush trained into a tree. Behind it, there is the shrimp plant or shrimp bush. And then there are 3 Cattleya guava bushes here. 1, 2, and the 3rd one is somewhere in there. We also have in here a nectarine tree. It's a tiny one. And then the apple trees, the Fuji apple trees are here and there. they are in the black pots here and here. Back there, we have additional nectarine trees. There are 2 of them. There's some foxtail fern. There is a little bit of bottle brush bush in here. There's a big old comfrey down here. This is blue sky vine. You can see it's trying to escape its trellis. It's attaching itself even to the holly tree. We even have some blueberries in here, blueberry bushes. And then a pomegranate tree. Can you see? It's very, very high density planting. Butterfly bush. I believe this is a jessamine bush. I have to fact check. Purple passion fruit vine. Doing very well. Gerbera. Little finger banana tree. Holly. Sago palm. An assortment of Cavendish bananas back there. Mexican petunia that I have tried to eradicate, but it keeps coming back. The Thai plant. Sweet potato bed. I've planted Seminole pumpkin seedlings, or I've planted Seminole pumpkin seeds, as well as butternut squash seeds along this bed. So Seminole pumpkin and butternut squash seedlings have popped up. These are not faring as well. I may have to back them up. It looks like something's been nibbling on them. I'll put the name of this on the screen. I think it's something like a Jocartha. I always forget the name of this thing. Pellegrino. The pomegranate tree. Blueberry bushes. You can see one of the apple trees there, and the other apple tree is back there. And there is the nectarine tree right here. Here is its other branch. More of this Mexican heather. Banana circle. And back behind the banana circle, we have the elderberry trees. And there is also Texas sage in there. More yellow dewdrop here. And then I have something special for you here. Look at that. Feast your eyes. This is a dragon fruit tree that has flowered. Oh, but it's so sad because there's only one flower. And I don't have any pollen. I don't have a second flower to use as a pollinator. So I don't know if this flower is going to give me a fruit, but isn't that a sight to behold? That is definitely the star of the show today. Dragon fruit. There's a second bed of sweet potatoes here. You watched as I planted these on a video. There's a Meyer lemon tree here. It has a few Meyer lemons on it. This branch has so many fruit that it's heavy, and it sits on one of these pepper bags. So there are probably about 3 or 4 bags. You can hardly tell back here, here, and here that contain peppers that have not been very productive for me. And the sweet potatoes trying to escape and go around the bags, and cover up these peppers. All right, let's try this again. Pepper. This is a solchito pepper. You can see it does have a pepper on it, but it's a little bit of a scraggly pepper. They give these some attention. I can't even see, here we go. Here's the pepper in this bag. I can't even see the pepper in the other bag. Has it gone to the room upstairs? It's looking pretty scraggly. These are the newest addition to the garden. These are pineapple plants. I've even got a few babies. Here's one, because the mother plants had little pups, and I removed the pups and planted them. So it's pup number 1. There's another one here. There, pup number 2. So as these things develop pups, I will move them around and put them back here. There's a white jade, which is a very sweet pineapple. And then, what is the name of the other one? It's a pretty common one. I'll put the name on the screen. We have another asparagus bed here with a spent black-eyed Susan plant. My lead date tree, which is here in the pot. It took forever to leaf out this season, but it's looking beautiful now. This is the alamanda trellis. It's got a lot of attention from the moths and the bees this morning. There's also bleeding heart vine on this trellis. It's here. And it's also intermingled here, but the alamanda are blooming right now and the bleeding heart vines are not. So that's what you can see most clearly. They are right next to the Meyer lemon. Behind the Meyer lemon, there is cranberry hibiscus that sprouted here, volunteered, and there is right there a grapefruit tree. There was a raspberry vine back here as well, but it has gone to the room upstairs. This is a weed. This weed drives me insane. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it right now. It looks like an herb, but it is not. Let's continue through the trellis. We have another kumquat tree and a giant loquat tree. Another Meyer lemon that's traversed this trellis. To my left, here's that enormous loquat trunk. Back behind the loquat, buried in this little corner here, the super tree, right here. This is the moringa tree. Another sweet almond tree is in here. It needs to be pruned. Fingerling lime tree, along with another variety of butterfly bush. There are Shasta daisies planted along here. I did have some oriental lily as well, but it has not come up this year. There's that dead raspberry vine. This is a bottle brush bush. Eventually I'd like it to be a tree. I'll prune it as it gets bigger, but this is the bottle brush bush. More sweet potatoes. This is nectarine 1 and nectarine 2. Again, just so you can see how close together they are. They're almost in the same hole. There are the 2 trunks. They don't mind it at all. Then we have a banana circle. As you can see, bananas are ripening. Bananas are ripening. Lots of bananas this season. That is my bay laurel tree right here. She's growing slowly because she's shaded, but when you initially plant them, they don't like full sun. So this is probably her second year. I'll probably cut all of this back to allow more sun to come in at some point, to allow her to grow a little bit faster and thrive there. This is an understory of peanuts, aloe, here we have the Cattleya guavas that I mentioned. This is one of the Cattleya guava trees. It is full of little guavas. Some are ready for harvest. You can see that big one back there. Right there. Can you see it? There. That is ready for harvest. However, it's probably already been pecked by the birds because I haven't gotten out here to do it. Banana tree that's kind of in the path. I'm thinking about taking this banana tree down so it's not in my path. But I'm always sad to do that. Let's get under it. This banana tree must have heard me considering cutting it down because look, it's flowering. So I guess it's bought itself a little bit of time here. Won't cut it down. Yet another flowering banana. This was my problem bed that's doing much better. Rosemary's in there, a canna lily, and I've placed goldenrod and aloe, those aloe babies that I removed from that repurposed mail carrier bin that broke down. I put that aloe in here and it likes it. There's a little roselle in here. It's doing okay. There is an elderberry tree here. Another elderberry tree right there. And then my watering jug. This area stays quite dry. The sprinkler doesn't get it very well. So I had to plant things, finally, that do well in a little drier climate. This is my white mulberry tree. It's been pruned several times, but it's still reaching for the sky. Definitely have to prune it again because it is creating a canopy which is shading too much my longan tree. Look at the longans. They have plumped up in the last few days because we've had lots of rain. I am not mad at them at all. There's some iris in here. Looks like it's looking to flower again. More pots down here waiting for their fall seedlings. There is a wall of volunteer porterweed. There's a rose bush in here. Two paths we can take from here. We can go this way, or we can go that way. I think we'll go this way this time. And immediately we see beautyberry. I've got this beautyberry tree in a pot. This pot right here. That's my beautyberry, starting to purple up. Iris, looks like it's going to flower soon. Texas sage. Plumbago. Pencil tree. Grumi chama cherry tree. This is the honeysuckle vine or honeysuckle tree that I'm training over this trellis. There is hardy kiwi. I wanted to climb this trellis, but it hasn't gotten there thus far. There are 4 hardy kiwis plants in here. One is here, one is here, and one is on the other trellis back by the strawberry guava tree. Some more Texas sage. This is the back side of that shrimp plant. That's the densely packed area, the back side of it. Holly tree is there for reference. Black-eyed Susan is making a second show. There's Gerbera in here as well. This is another Black-eyed Susan that's coming along. Jasmine vine and maypop vine are also on this trellis. Volunteer cranberry hibiscus, volunteer cranberry hibiscus, and we are back at path number 1. We went through there and we came out through here, and now we're going to go this way. So Persian lime tree, asparagus bed. Got all the bags along this trellis here. This used to be the tomato trellis. We are going to put new cucumbers in here. These are the leftover cucumbers from the spring season that just didn't do anything through spring or through the summer. Here's a better look at the Grumi Chama cherry tree. It has put on a lot of growth this season as well. It's getting quite tall. And the rest, or the backside of the longan, you can see all those longans just waiting for me. Volunteer maypop vine. A few volunteer zinnias. Holy basil. I'm going to turn around here. This is my jaboticaba tree, otherwise known as the Brazilian grape tree. There is a bed here of various things: oregano, sisu spinach. This is turmeric. This is the blackberry trellis back here. There's a blackberry tree here. Another one there. We have 3 plum trees. 1, 2, and 3. Sweet William and lemon balm. And over here, back beside the Grumi Chama, there's an aloe, society garlic, the volunteer zinnias. This is my pluery tree right here. More society garlic. This is that other path we could have taken back behind the longan tree. And the problem bed is there. Got a butterfly bush with very large bees. Very hard at work. This is why a butterfly bush is imperative in my Florida garden. Now we can see the butterfly bush is starting to make its fruit. Those little blackberries are nutrition for the birds in the area. So it's really beneficial to the pollinators as well as the birds. Biden's alba, it's a volunteer plant. Another salt and pepper. This is the DIY tomato trellis, which stands bare at the moment. No tomatoes for the fall. I've decided instead these bags will house peppers. I'll put the spicier peppers back here. Things like soshito. I've already got a couple of soshito seedlings placed in here. I'm waiting for the Hungarian paprikas. I'll put them there. I did plant some peppers in the ground during the spring season. And there they are. They haven't really done much in the ground. I have better luck with peppers in bags. I put a couple of soshitos in the ground recently just to see if they will fare better in the fall. I'll have to decide whether I'm going to move these to the available bags. There is a butterfly bush seedling here. A roselle seedling. This is my royal crimson tree. And this is my pluery tree. There's a sugar apple. And this is my cucamelon trellis. Lots of vegetation. Fruit are just starting to come back on. There, can you see? The weather must be breaking just a little bit to allow it to start fruiting again. There's also some bite and alba mixed in there. These are Seminole pumpkins. More sisu. Ornamental ginger. In this banana circle, there are 2 loquat trees that are doing phenomenally. Continue on to the ginger and turmeric bed, to the pepper beds. Kind of made a big circle. Sun's starting to come up. It's getting a little hot out here. Mexican flame vine trellis. Banana circle to my left. Strawberry guava to my right, as well as pink guava. Pink guava. And there is a naughty pomegranate in here as well. She's here. Where is she? Yeah, she's here. She hasn't given me anything. She has a sister over there that hasn't given me anything either. Got some katuk buried in the bananas. Of course, more of this asparagus fern. We've got to get under this banana. Oh, here we go. And there's a better look at the katuk. She's flowering. Katuk is another one of those super plants. Contains all of the nutrients you need on this edible tree. Miracle berries are coming. Miracle berries are amazing. My kids get a kick at how if you eat one of these berries and then you eat something that's supposed to be sour or tart, it suddenly tastes sweet. Unruly jasmine vine with the katuk. Let's go ahead and spin here. That's the pomegranate. And then this I should call the avocado bed. The avocado trees as well as the Barbados trees are in this one bed. The avocados are definitely showing off this year. We have avocados everywhere. I have 2 trees. This is the first tree, and the second tree is here. They are Bacon and Brogdon. But you can see avocados, avocados, avocados. Hope you can see them. They're everywhere. Here, there's the other naughty pomegranate that refuses to bear fruit. And my shampoo ginger has returned. And it's actually making the shampoo. You squeeze that and a liquid comes out. Can you see? And that liquid acts as shampoo. It's a thin, soapy consistency. Smells, very light gingery. It's amazing. Stinky red sage. It's here to stay. More pots waiting for seedlings, pepper plants that look like they are trying to do something. I don't even know what kind of peppers those are anymore. More shampoo ginger. It gets quite sunny here. Not for very long, but it does. So I'm hoping these shampoo ginger will still bear fruit. More bags. In these bags, I've direct sown more Seminole pumpkin and butternut squash, one of the old peppers. And this bed, I've sprinkled many little flower seedlings in here. And the one that seemed to have done the best is this Tithonia. There goes my prickly pear. She hasn't grown much. In front of my shampoo ginger, there are a couple of elderberry trees back here too. One is there. The other I can't quite find. This is where I planted my gladiolus and baby asparagus fern. The asparagus fern has done wonderfully. The gladiolus, not so much. Another mulberry tree. We've got developing mulberries on her. One is ripe. Mulberries are packed with vitamins and taste amazing. The avocado tree has overtaken this path. And that's the medicinal bed. I've already talked about the medicinal bed, so I'm not going to go into that in detail. But I am going to show you this. Do you remember the leafless brown turkey fig tree that I planted? Look, the leaves have returned in just a matter of a couple of weeks. This is my new favorite. That is a licorice plant. So that's how the medicinal bed is doing. Tithonia, volunteer that's hanging around in my path. I'm gonna leave it alone because it's beautiful. It's blocking my path. I'll have to squeeze in here. Coreopsis, plumbago. This is my butterfly pea and queen's wreath trellis. That's a huge bumblebee. It's a bunch of butterfly pea on this trellis. Dahlia, she's lost her blooms. This is the state of my compost bins. We're just gonna peruse right past that because I have done a poor job of turning these beds. I've just been piling in the debris. Time will have to break it down because I'm not planning on turning that anytime soon. That's my queen's wreath that I'm planning to have go completely over this trellis. Thinking maybe I'll get a second one and put it here so it can go over this way and they can meet in the middle. Elephant ear, another mulberry tree, camellia tree. This is a red camellia tree. This is my lime quat tree beside another mulberry. I cut these back recently and you can barely tell. There is a Turk's cap hibiscus that I gave a hard prune to. So now my curry leaf plant is jumping. I mean, it has shot up in the last few weeks. There's a second curry leaf plant in here. Another Turk's cap hibiscus here. And this is a tree that I bought as a tiny, tiny, tiny seedling, and it's slowly growing. I'll put the name of this tree on the screen because I can never remember the name of it. Another agave. We've got a bunch of volunteer cranberry hibiscus in here. I've got to come in and remove these because they will turn into a tree, and I don't want the cranberry hibiscus crowding this space. This is a Stokes aster. The flowers are spent, but we've got new growth way at the bottom, so these stalks need to be cut, and hopefully I can get a second bloom. Roselle is back here. As you can see, they need staking. Roselle all in here in the spaces. Some more Roselle here, second sowing. We've put in more Seminole pumpkin and more butternut squash. Beside the Queen's Wreath tree, there's some kale growing. More balloon flower, a kale tree in here. There's plantain, a rose bush. She's got a little show for you. Lovely roses. We are blooming. Another mulberry tree. Callaloo and Egyptian spinach. Raised bed. Florida Prince peach tree. Another rose bush. Tibucina plant. And we can see the Seminole pumpkins down here. This is a white camellia tree. We'll get on out of here. Wonder if you can hear the sounds of the planes this morning. It's quite early, and we've already got planes going overhead. I hope it's not interfering with the sound. Here's the front side of the Barbados cherry tree beside the avocado tree and the butterfly bush. Agaves down below, the yarrow. We have rosemary. This is ornamental ginger, my dwarf chenille plant. Oh, I gotta get these cherries. And we are back at the front of the garden. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.